Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, but first, our weather brought to us by Haney Tactical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Rumby, still got some openings. Talked to them the other day. They've got some great classes going on there now, so you really need to check it out right now before school starts and fall semester kicks off. High today is going to be 88, low 77. Water temperature is back up to 86 degrees. Now, it is really muddy and cloudy right offshore, so be aware of that. Let's take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola Bluntstown reading 2.5. It's not doing much. It's just sort of staying there. Got a little bit of a drop for the weekend. Not much falling like you would think it would be. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, we talked about this yesterday, it's staying up. This is very interesting because usually that Choctawhatchee is sort of like a roller coaster up and down, but if you looked at it 3 or 4 days ago and 3 or 4 days ahead, it's going to stay right around 8 foot. So it's going to be high on for the weekend. We was hoping it was going to be dropping out some. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn and Funeral Home and Cemetery. Talked about this yesterday. We had some 2-foot tides again yesterday and today. We're looking at a high tide this morning at 10:57. I'm sorry, and then the low tide is going to be at 8:15, so it's going to be high. I've noticed all week long these morning tides in the bay system, they've really pushed up there. Really good fishing in the mornings now, last couple of mornings up in the bay system. You're going to, again, have some dirty water in some spots, but the fish are going to eat. Just because you have some muddy water, I mean, they're not going to stop eating. You just got to find them, so be aware of that. Marine forecast, southwest at about 10 to 15, and we got about a 20% chance of rain today. We're going to take a break, come right back with our guest. All right, welcome back, and welcome to a familiar face here on Panhandle Outdoors, Ron Childs. Good morning, Ron.
Morning. How you doing?
It's great to have you. We're talking about, we have so much in common and all. We're talking about a bunch of antiques right here. We're talking about an antique show. Ron, I asked Ron, this is their 20th annual MBAR tournament. I said, Ron, who started this? And who did start it? I know you don't want to say, but
well, it's a long story. Way back in the 80s, I was coming down here and we were diving, and we had 1 or 2 reefs. We had the old car bodies area where some old guys like Chuck Guilford, some of the old captains had pushed some car bodies over, and we had the Virginia Reef and the JC Reef, which was built by the JCs in Port St. Joe. But we really didn't have very much, and so we all started thinking about it and getting together, and I fished in a couple of OAR tournaments with a real good friend of mine from Bainbridge, Bobby Trewick. He was the principal of Bainbridge High School up there. And he started talking about reefs, and I started picking up on this talk, and I started diving a few of their reefs over in Caryville. And so I got with some people around Mexico Beach, and I said, guys, we need to do something because we really don't get much help from anybody. And so let's just do it ourselves. Let's just get a group of people together and get men and women that dive and fish, and let's just build up the reef structure around Mexico Beach. And so to make a long story short, we've been doing this for 20 years since we got organized, and we became a 501c3 non-for-profit corporation. We had to go through a lot of legal steps and become incorporated in the state of Florida. It was a lot of work, and I had some good volunteers that helped me. And we formed a board of directors, and we've got 9 members of the board of directors, and we've got a charter, and we've got bylaws, and we have officers, and we've raised $4 million and built over 200 reefs in the last 20 years.
This is awesome, and it started. You were telling me you really started coming down here. We always talk about a Panhandle, it's Alabama and Georgia connection, folks coming down, and I know that South Georgia connection is real strong over that way, and y'all come down from Moultrie. You said your dad would bring you down from.
I'm much older than I look.
You were coming down 50s and go speckled trout fishing?
I came down here in the 1950s and did speckled trout fishing in the bay with my dad and my brother and other people. And we've been coming down here a long. I've been diving down here, probably 45 years, 50 years.
You got certified when?
1967.
Wow, you've been diving since then?
In fact, went 2 weeks ago to the Florida Keys and went diving for lobster.
That is awesome. I'm really. I was asking him, do you think I'm too old to learn how to dive? He said, not really. So there's still hope for me, huh?
If you're in good shape, you can do it.
I've always wanted to do it. I just haven't had time. So I know you've had an awesome experience diving and all. And like I say, these reefs though, this is where it gets started with the animal, with the fish.
Well, you know, having a historical perspective really teaches me a lot, because when I first started coming down here, and then the way Mexico Beach got so famous was a king mackerel's place. I mean, it was the king mackerel heaven of the state of Florida. I mean, we were catching king mackerel, but you know, after a while, you know, something else would be nice to catch. I mean, we had no red snapper.
Yeah.
We had none, zero red snapper.
Yeah.
And you occasionally catch a grouper out at the old car body's place where they dump cars off into the water. And we found out from our research, we do a lot of research in our organization, a car body usually lasts about 7 years and it's gone.
Okay.
As anybody that's fished in salt water and has a motor in salt water is incredibly corrosive. I mean, it will eat a car in 7 years.
Yeah.
The only thing sitting there is the block. It's the only thing left. So we had to start looking at getting some stuff into the water. And once we started building reefs, we started seeing red snapper. And I would say right now, with over 200 reefs that we've got, and we're putting out a $1.4 million worth in about 2 weeks. Another big grant that we've got. We probably have as many red snappers as anybody in the state of Florida.
That is awesome.
It's unbelievable.
And they came from nowhere really, because we had red snapper up in here, here in Phillips Inlet, and they're way offshore and all, and the old timers would catch them and all, but we never had many down toward Mexico Beach.
That's correct. There were no red snapper 20 years ago in Mexico Beach. None.
Yeah, you
now
didn't catch them.
The reefs, it's just amazing what it has done to the red snapper fishing. It's just unbelievable. And not just red snapper, I should also add amberjack that come to our reefs that are 20 feet tall, and triggerfish, and even gag grouper and red grouper and flounder that come around the reef. The reefs just start this process of the little fish and the bait fish and then the bigger fish and the bigger fish, and now we're building them taller. One of the things that we're doing in our organization is we have to do research. There's 1,000 ways to build reefs. If you were to take this table right here and take quarters, for example, you can put 3 in a row, 1 over here, 4 over here. You can put them in a circle, you can put them in a square. You can build some 20 feet tall, you can build some 5 feet tall. There's got to be a right way to do this, and there's very little research on this. And when you Google this up, I'm amazed that there's just nothing there hardly.
Really?
So we're pretty much pioneering how to do this. Yeah. There's a right way and a wrong way. I'll give you an example, and we've learned from some of our mistakes. We've got this one reef, and it's got 100 reef balls stacked on top of each other. I designed it. I wanted to make a mountain. The biggest reef we could build. It's got 100 reef balls, that 4 and 5 feet wide and 5 feet tall. It's just not that good.
Really? Well, I would think that'd be huge and all kind of fish.
Well, that's where we have to sit down as an organization and we try to think about it. What are we doing wrong? Why is this just not, just overloaded with fish? Yeah. Well, first of all, the reef balls have holes in them about 6 to 8 inches. Well, think about that now. Okay, you got to get in and you got to get out. And a reef ball is a structure that has a hole in the top. Okay, and if a grouper gets in there and he's a big grouper, he's stuck. He can't get out because I'm at the top with a gun, or I'm at the top with a fish or a shark or whatever. Yeah. And so fish like to be able to move. They don't want to feel confined. Yeah. And they want height, and they want to be like a grouper loves to get in and get under something. Mm-hmm. They like something over their head. Mm-hmm. A red snapper doesn't. They like to swim around and around. Mm-hmm. An amberjack will not. They like to get high. They like to get up in the top and move around and around. So all fish are different, and the designs that we try to work on are different. We have actually built a reef now that's kind of like a box. It's like a cave. We're trying to simulate a cave because that's what attracts your grouper, your red grouper, anything. They don't get out and just wander around. Yeah. They like to get in a hole and they'll pick their head out sometime and peek. Yep. And that's why they're so hard to catch sometimes. If they get that bait and back up in there, you're going to have to deal with structure.
Yeah. Okay, good point. We're going to come back and show you the 20th anniversary shirt. Okay, so we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. It's in Ron Childs, Mexico Beach Artificial Reef Association, the 20th anniversary, and you did something special on your shirt this year. Tell us about who. Y'all didn't ask me to do it, but you asked who to do it.
Guy Harvey.
Okay, I can understand that.
Guy Harvey's probably the most famous marine painter that there is in the world. He's an outstanding individual, does a lot of good things for charity, and he does a lot of good things to protect the oceans and stuff, and he's just wonderful. But I was diving in the Cayman Islands about 4 or 5 years ago, and I met him at his shop. He has a shop, he lives there. Yeah. And I went to the shop, and they said, he's upstairs. And I said, can I go upstairs? And they said, go upstairs. And I had on my MBARA shirt, and we got to talking, and one thing led to another. He said, well, is there anything I can do to help y'all? I like what you're talking about. I said, yeah, we've got a shirt. I got a 20th anniversary coming up in 4 or 5 years. I would love to have a print. Do me a print. Paint me a picture and let me use it on my shirt. And it didn't work out, but he was over at the Gulf Coast Jam last year, and he comes a lot for that. And I talked with him again. He said, okay, we'll do it. And so what he did is he designed a print for us. And this is an original Guy Harvey print of Kingfish, chasing bait. And this is our 20th anniversary shirt. It's got a Guy Harvey name right here and a Guy Harvey signature. And it's, we are really proud of that. And that we're selling that shirt now, and we give it away to people that are in our tournament next week. But you can order, we have an online store on our mbara.org.
Okay.
And that's a great, if you want to see some of the stuff we've done, we have all of our reefs on there. We videotape them underwater. You can see what they look like. And to be honest, a lot of guys need to go look at that, because we did some cleanup about a week ago. This is an afterthought. We went and cleaned up our reefs. And we get the old anchors and line and rope and things off of them. I think we pulled 25 anchors. You can't throw your anchor in the middle of a shrimp boat. It ain't coming out.
That's true.
Rope, anchors, chains.
Y'all have a garage sale to make some money.
Actually, we sold them to a couple of the marinas, and they're going to resell. And actually, we found two that we found out who they were owned by, and we gave them back to them.
That's funny.
But you need to look at some of these reefs underwater, and you just cannot be throwing an anchor into the middle of a reef, because you're going to get stuck. But Guy Harvey did us a great.
That's wonderful. And people can order them online.
They can order them online on our website.
All right. Now, this magazine here, Florida Sportsman, did an article on Mexico Beach. You don't talk about this a lot, but now they are recognized by Florida Sportsman and everyone else as the premier organization in America on artificial reefs. So show us this article.
This is an article that was in Florida Sportsman a couple months ago, and they talked. We were really proud of it, because they talked about how if you want to look at a blueprint, you want some examples of how to run these and how to develop reefs.
Right here, Mexico Beach.
Go to Florida Sportsman, and we're real proud of that, because that's what we call an objective third-party opinion about how we do things.
True.
And we're really proud of that, because I mean it does take a lot of work, and I should mention that very quickly. We've got a lot of volunteers. We've got over 400 members in our organization, and we've got this is all volunteers. We don't have any paid staff. We don't have a secretary or treasurer or anybody that makes any money or CEO or anything like that. We don't have an office. It's just all volunteers, men and women who want to contribute to this phenomenon that we're involved in. And the fishing has gotten so great over in Mexico Beach and off of Port St. Joe. And actually, we built some off of Panama City Beach too. Man, we're using the LARS area, which means Large Area Reef Site, which is right off of Panama City. Yeah. And in fact, we are in the middle of a whole lot of grant working and grant processing. We've applied for some more grants looking at maybe 2 Coast Guard cutters. So I mean, we're never sleeping.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point up a while ago off air about we have a large area a lot of times, and people, might have 10 reefs stacked together. Then you have one over here might have more fish. What's the story behind that?
Well, one of the things that we have 3 functions in our organization. 1 is to build reefs, 2 is to do research, and 3 is to educate the public. And in our research, we're always diving and doing surveys and writing down what shows up and what's on the reef and what's happened to it. How does it hold up? And taking a fish count and those kind of things. But one of the things we're finding is the larger reefs sometimes don't hold as many fish as one pyramid over there by itself, 500 or 600 yards away. And what we have hypothesized, and we're trying to monitor it and check it, you go out there and you see on the big stuff 20 boats. Mm-hmm. And nobody goes over there, that little reef. And of course, it's not little, it's 30 feet tall and weighs 50,000 pounds. If everybody's on one reef and they're fishing it over and over, day after day, with 20 and 30 boats a day, they tend to wipe it out. Yeah. Go to the little things sometimes. Mm-hmm. The little ones seem to be doing as good, if not better, than some of the big ones.
That's a good point. Good point.
And we've got over 200 and something reefs, and we have a lot of reefs singular. Yeah. We've got some with 5, some with 10, some with 20, some with 30. So we're trying to study and see which is best, and we're learning.
You're doing an awesome job. Y'all so well known and all. Also, now talk about this cookbook. We're going to give one away shortly here. Tell us about the cookbook.
The first edition of that cookbook was actually done by my brother, who is deceased now. He smoked and he got lung cancer, and I wish he wouldn't do that, and I wish people would quit smoking, to be honest with you. It killed him. And but anyway, he did the first one, and we sold over 5,000 copies. And this is the second edition, which is a different style. It's got 280 recipes in it, and they're all by local people from around here, and many of the local restaurants like Killer Seafood and Captain Anderson's and places like that. and it's for sale. It's online. It's $20, and it's really a very good recipe book. So you can get that online on our online store.
Online, and again, this money goes to the association.
Every bit.
And 100% of it. And so I was looking through some great recipes, and a lot of folks come down and don't know how to cook fish and all. You do if you read this. It's fascinating. These are local people, local. And like I say, this is the what edition? The third edition?
Well, it's the third edition. We did 2, and then this is the third one.
And then look at and everybody wants to know how to do a low country boil. Well, that's on the cover right here. There's all kind of ways to do it. And I've eaten a lot of it. And there's most of them are good. Some of them need a little bit of work.
It's just like deer. I'm a deer hunter too, and it's like I tell people all the time. I've had fish that was good that I ate, and I had fish that's bad. I've had steak that's good and steak that's bad. A lot of it has to do with your preparation and the way you take care. You can't throw a fish over in the corner and let it like a deer in the back of a truck. You can't. You have to deal with it right and learn to bleed it when you need to, and learn to take out the bloodline and things like that. So a lot of it has to do with preparation, and I tell people that all the time. I mean, you can overcook shrimp and they taste like rubber.
That's true.
You can do lobster and fish the same way.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of it depends on who's preparing it.
That's good. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to give one of these away right here after this break. All right. Okay, welcome back. See Ron Childs going over all kind of things. Good thing we don't have the camera on during the break, because we talk about all kind of things, but we try to cover the points, and we want to make sure that y'all understand this tournament is next weekend. But first, let's go ahead and do our fishing game time today. Barron's Barbecue Shrimp Marinade, talking about good stuff to eat. All right, the time is 12:36 to 2:36 this morning, and right after lunch from 1:03 to 3:03. All right, the cookbook, getting ready to give it away. I turned four different recipes on how to cook whiting, and that's a good fish. And the next page, sail cat, how to cook sail cat, gaff top sail cat. So all kinds of things here. So we're going to give this away. Ron, I'm going to let you draw one name out of here, and we're going to have it here at Fox 28 Studio, and the winner is Gloria Turner from Panama City Beach. All right, Gloria, I know she fishes a lot, so here you go, right here. We're going to put it right up here, and that's yours, okay? Now, I always ask about tell us about the tournament next weekend.
The tournament is next weekend. It's $175 a boat. You can fish as many people on the boat as you want to. The tournament is on Saturday. It's from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it's over at 5 p.m. Take that to the bank, guys. If you're come in at 5:15, you're toast. Yep. We're not going to weigh it. We try to do that to make sure everybody's on the same page at the same time. The big captain's party and sponsors party, and it's for the captains and the people that fish in the tournament, is on Friday afternoon at Beacon Hill Park. And we have sausage and we have drinks, and we got about $15,000 worth of door prizes. We got some raffle items. We have 3 raffle items. One is a $1,000 gift certificate from Blue Water Outrigger with Mr. Duran. Thank you, Mr. Duran.
That's good.
And another thing we have from Blue Water Outrigger is one of my favorite guns of all time. It's a Ruger Hawkeye 30-06 with a loophole scope, worth about $2,300, somewhere in that range. And the Hawkeye is their top of the line Ruger gun. And in fact, I've got a couple of Ruger, and that's a great gun. And the Hawkeyes, they're very top of the line. And then we have a 10-hour offshore fishing trip with one of the charter boats down there, Brad Timmons, who runs Southern Lady, the Danny Tankersley group that works down there. And so we've got some raffle items. For $10 a ticket, you can get a lot of return on that.
Where can people buy those tickets from?
At the captain's party. They've got to be captain's party or people fishing in the tournament.
All right, that's awesome. That is awesome.
And we start serving at 5. Dinner, and then we have the raffle items and the door prize tickets will be at 7 o'clock. And we'll be done by 9. We'll be going home. We've learned a long time ago, and I've learned a long time ago, people don't want to stay out all night and fish all day long and be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we cut that thing off, and we send them home at 9 o'clock and say, go home, guys. Get ready to go fishing. Okay.
So now the fish, they come in from all over the place. Again, it's sort of like the Sea Quarter tournament. You get a lot of South Georgia boys coming down.
We get a lot of South Georgia people. In fact, the majority of the people that fish in our tournament are from South Georgia. Mexico Beach has got a lot of South Georgia people.
Always has,
in that area. Always has. And but they come from really Tennessee,
Panama City, Tallahassee, Alabama, Tennessee.
Alabama people have gotten more and more. In fact, we've had some people from Texas last year come in for the tournament. Cool. A lot of people come here for vacation. I think then they want to be a part of the party scene. Because we do, one of the things our committee talks about a lot is, you got 6 people that are going to win prize money, a couple thousand, well, $10,000, $12,000. But you got 400, 500, 600 people in the tournament, so we try to have a big party on Friday night, Friday afternoon, another big party at the weigh-in from 1 to 5, another big dance on Saturday night at the Toucans Bar and Grill that's there in town. We want to make it a lot of fun for everybody. That's why we like to use Miss Kingfish here.
Oh, awesome. Well, these ladies, over the years, and we were talking about the twins back in, I forget how long, 8 or 9 years. They were so sweet, the twins.
Kathy and Karen.
That's it, okay, and they're from Bainbridge, Georgia?
Bainbridge, Georgia.
They were so sweet. When Whitney was a little girl, they hugged her, so sweet. I never will forget how kind they were, but you have some really quality young ladies.
Well, we try to do a lot, Winston, to try to make it fun, make it an event, not just an ordinary old dull fishing tournament, but like we have Miss Kingfish. She takes pictures with the kids, and we've had children that have grown up. We've got their picture when they were 4 and 5 years old, and now they're 18 and 19 and 20 years old. We're going to have a peanut man this year. It's going to boil peanuts and give boiled peanuts away to the crowd.
Oh, good.
So we're trying to make it as fun as we can and as exciting as we can, because we know that everybody needs to have fun, not just the 6 people that win money.
That's right, and a lot of folks just drive down for the weigh-in, right? You can
Tell Saturday afternoon from 1 to 5. It will be at Mexico Beach Marina. And you want to see some big fish. And by the way, one thing I need to add really quickly, we have got a new program this year. We got a new permit from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission to allow people to give their fish away, donate their fish to a charity. So Water Street Seafood from Apalachicola is going to have a truck, and if you don't want your king mackerel, and some people don't, they will take it and they will sell it and they will donate the money to a charity, which is the Franklin Promises Group.
Yeah.
It's a coalition of people and agencies that help, like if someone has a fire, or if someone has a death in the family, or someone gets laid off from work and they need help, the Franklin Promise Group helps them. So we are really proud to do that this year. Too many people throw their fish in the water because they don't want them. Don't waste fish.
Don't waste fish, that's right. We're always talking about how outdoorsmen always do good things with so many people, and this is just another classic case of it right here.
That's right.
This is awesome.
Well, it's good.
Well, listen, we're going to wrap things up, and you see online where you can go get your T-shirts, you get your cookbook, come down and weigh in and support this. It's just a great tournament. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. It's been a long 20 years, but it's been a lot of fun, and we got a lot done.
Well, I want to congratulate you and thank you, because I know you're the driving force behind it, and a lot of folks respect what you've done.
Well, it's been a group of volunteers, men and women, that have worked their tails off. It's amazing how much work some of them have had to do, and still doing. I mean, by law, we must maintain, manage, monitor, and evaluate every reef we put out every year. So think about that, how much work that is.
Yeah, and all volunteers. Okay, good job. Good job, Ron. I'll see you next weekend, buddy.
Got it.
All right, listen, thanks y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. Go by and visit our sponsors. You do something good today for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.